So a few weeks back, something really scary happened to me. I was browsing the internet for game boosters because I honestly just love playing games. But personally, I don't have the best laptop. So, without hesitation, I downloaded this software. Few minutes later, my screen started flashing and one of my social account information was made public. Sadly, I did have my mom's credit card linked to it, so $80 was debited that very second. I couldn't really do anything at that moment except delete that software. So I thought it would be interesting to speak about cybersecurity today. There are about 6,500 languages spoken on our planet daily. And these thousands of languages serve thousands of different cultures. From the smallest community to the largest continent have their own language. Even with this vast diversity in our global population, we have a few methods of communication that are understood by everyone. Now, as of today, the largest culture by far is that of the internet user, or as we call them, the netizens. With 7.9 billion humans on Earth, around 3.8 billion of us are online and are using the internet for communicating almost every single day. So, another common language we all share but most don't realize is the internet, the vast social media, and obviously the emojis. We can't forget about the emojis. But what our internet culture tends to lack is a common understanding about cybersecurity and the threats online. We download all the time, whether it's a new album from our favorite band, an application to help our browser run a little smoother, or a new computer game we're hoping to try out. Downloading is a part of our daily lives. But what do we really know about these softwares? I'm here to talk about that. The problem is that if we're not careful about what we download, we leave ourselves vulnerable to cybercriminals. Many softwares usually contain bugs which are exploited, and then cybercriminals can get access of your device. What I just said now, I know it isn't really that big, but imagine it like this. When you go to a website, everything you do is recorded and can be traced till a certain point. And whichever website you visit has to play by the rules of your browser. But when it comes to softwares, there are rules, but the person developing it has some control over it. So that person could be choosing whether you'll be watching Netflix or YouTube today. Now, I'm going to speak a little about laws of cybersecurity. Law number 1. If there's a vulnerability, it will be exploited. No exceptions. Consider this for a moment. When the first bank was built, at least one person out there must have thought, I want to rob that. Just like that, in software, there are bugs, and hackers want to exploit it to get around the framework of the software and possibly leak your personal images, take control of your device, or even know your credit card information. There are those out there who will literally try and hack absolutely everything within their capability. Law number 2. Everything is vulnerable in some way. We've seen a series of massive breaches by corporations that literally spend lakhs annually on cyber defense strategies. For decades, we've assumed our computer processors are safe and harmless, just doing the job they're supposed to do. But in the beginning of 2018, we found that these technological workhorses carry a serious mass of vulnerability that would allow a malicious hacker to wreak havoc on all of us. Now, before I continue to law number 3, can you guys just check under your seats for something I've put there? All of you, just check once. Kuch nahi mila? That brings me to law number 3. Humans trust even when they shouldn't. Trust, quite frankly, is a delusion. I agree. We need trust in our lives. We can't have a society without it. And we should have a positive expectations of our technology and the people that help us with it. But we have to question the technological infrastructure and the online people around us. This is our greatest vulnerability in cybersecurity. Now, because of trust, many people fall for phishing scams. Usually end up losing a lot of money. They believe the 1,000 rupee antivirus they just bought for their computer will turn it into Fort Knox or a supercomputer. It will not. Sometimes we believe that a software that will possibly help you make a transaction or upgrade your systems. Sometimes it won't, and you will not even realize that your system is at risk. And it sounds weird to combat trust, but we have to if we're going to survive the non-stop hacking that takes place. Law number 4. With innovation comes opportunity for exploitation. There are brilliant people out there in the world. Bill Gates created a computer operating system that got humanity on the same technological page. Mark Zuckerberg created his own social media that today most of us use to share our lives with. But with these evolutions in our technology come certain risks. We live in the age of IoT, or Internet of Things, and hopefully our lives have been made a little bit more easier. However, one of the biggest examples of innovation exploitation is IoT hacking. In 2016, a virus known as Mirai infected millions of IoT devices worldwide and then weaponized them against targets, creating some of the largest bandwidth attacks the internet has ever seen. As the world continues to develop amazing new technology, we cannot forget the lesson that this incident has taught us. These are just some of the important laws that I want to talk about. I'm sure some of you must have heard about WannaCry. Well, it was one of the biggest attacks the internet has ever seen, and it was created by downloading a bugged file. The WannaCry ransomware attack was a worldwide cyber attack in May 2017, which targeted computers running the Microsoft Windows operating system by encrypting data and then asking for some ransom money to be paid in Bitcoin cryptocurrency. The total estimated damage of this exploit was around $4 billion. This attack damaged a total of 2 million computers' data globally in about 150 different countries. It was quite big. WannaCry was unique in its nature and delivery. Generally, ransomware attacks are isolated. They only infect devices that come into contact with it. WannaCry, however, was a worm. Worms are self-replicating, just like viruses in biology. They use the resources on their host to create copies of themselves and then infect the rest of the network the device is in contact with. This made WannaCry dangerously persuasive, increasing its rate of infection exponentially. We can protect ourselves from ransomware attacks like WannaCry by ensuring, first, do not download from untrusted websites. It is really important to only download applications or softwares from trusted providers. Suspicious websites that claim to offer free versions of trusted softwares are likely to include malicious code or programs that can infect your device. Second, use a VPN when using any Wi-Fi. This method is usually not known or even practiced much, but a VPN is a virtual private network. It helps us access the internet securely on any network. Supposedly you wanted to watch a Netflix series in USA, but it's only available over there and not over here. So you could connect to USA using a VPN. Public Wi-Fi networks should be avoided, but doing so through a VPN can ensure that the user's device, location, and browsing activity remain private and cannot be intercepted by a hacker. Third, install Internet Security System. Internet security software is crucial to keeping us safe from existing and new security threats. Security software ensures that the user's devices and data are protected at all times from serious cyber attacks and prevents hackers from infiltrating their system. This third one doesn't even take much effect. You just have to Google for this and you can just download it by one click, but yet many people don't do it even today. Fourth one, never open untrusted email attachments. I'm pretty sure all of you must have heard this at least 1 million times by now, but still people tend to ignore it, and this is how half of the phishing scams happen. So similar to the spread of ransomware through malicious links, phishing emails also spread malware through email attachments. These attachments can result in malicious code or software being installed, which gives the hacker control of your device or enables them to encrypt files on it and ask you to pay a certain amount of money. These are the few basic ones. and I'll be talking about another solution in our panel discussion. Thank you.